This video I'm making is going to be for anyone considering living in a van, the expenses involved, kind of my expenses, sort of my reasoning why I live live in my van behind me here. And I wrote out some of my costs here on this notepad. Payments are going to be one of the big things. So I own my van. When I bought the van, I bought it in 2018 for $16,000. And I don't have a van payment. Now, if you go finance a van, whatever you're calculating out for your expenses and your cost of living, you're going to have to put in, you're going to have to add in that payment of several $100s just on the van. So, so since I own the van, my fixed expense is insurance, and the motorcycle, I don't finance that either. I own the motorcycle. I bought the motorcycle brand new in 2019, a Suzuki DR650. I own the van, I own the motorcycle. What are my fixed costs? That way I know my recurring fixed costs every month. Both the vehicles have to have insurance. So you got the insurance on my van is $45 a month. I've got full coverage on the motorcycle. I've got comprehensive and collision. So if anything happens to the motorcycle, I'm covered, vandalism or anything. That's $30 a month I pay for full coverage on this motorcycle. Cell phone, $98 a month. I got my smartphone. I use it for DoorDash. I've got the premium plan. So my phone, AT&T, is $98 a month. That puts my fixed cost at $173 a month. So now if you add in payments with that, say you've got a payment on your van, say you finance your van, even a $8,000 van. Say you've got a $500 a month payment, and then you got to have all the full coverage insurance. So you can see how high your fixed costs are going to go up. So that 173 plus just 500 for your van, now becomes about $800. So you go from $173 to $800. And I think that, that may be one of the reasons why more people don't get into this, because once you start figuring out, if you've already got friends and roommates and you've been living apartment life, by the time you start figuring out buying the generator, buying the van and getting into motorcycling and alternative living, that there are, some substantial costs. You're either financing the vehicle or you're buying the vehicle. Either way, you're buying equipment to do this. And so, it may not make financial sense to you unless you're going to do it long term. You don't ever want to go from one lifestyle to another lifestyle, because any lifestyle you change, whether you're single and then you have kids, or you live in an apartment and want to live in a van or a vehicle, you're changing lifestyles, and you're going to have to accommodate your finances around that and buy the equipment or whatever it is you're looking to do. Okay, so my fixed costs are $173 a month. We got the van insurance, motorcycle insurance, cell phone. $20 a day for food. I do go out, have some beers, eat out throughout the week and stuff. So I put my food at $20. I do buy groceries too. So everything included, we'll say a rough estimate, average estimate, I put that at $600 a month. So $20 a day, 30 days is $600 a month. Generator gas for my Predator 3500. I use it to charge up my batteries, run my air fryer oven, stuff like that. About 3 gallons a week in gas. Now, if I'm running the air conditioner, if it's summertime, it's really hot, and I'm running the air conditioning, well, then that can go up to 10 or 15 gallons a week in gasoline. So, but the average cost, so understanding, I've written it all out here, and understanding my fixed costs, gas, all my expenses, any subscriptions I have, HBO Max, which is like $12 a month. I put commuting gas for this, gas for my van to move it. I put all my fixed costs and average expenses, food, everything, my total cost for living at $850 a month. Now, to have some variable in there, if I go out to eat or whatever, just some variable kind of expenses in there, I'm going to say my total living costs are $1,000 a month. So $1,000 a month. What's $1,000 a month? That's $250 a week. 250 times 4 weeks in a month is $1,000. So I know I need to earn to maintain this lifestyle of a 20, mostly it's my food. You can see the food is the big budget, and food keeps getting more and more expensive now. Now, if you're on a tight budget, you can live in your van, your paid off van, and have your motorcycle or your gas scooter that gets 50 or 60 miles a gallon for $180 a month for your insurance, your cost of your insurance and a little bit of gas and stuff. And you can eat at food banks, you can go to churches and stuff like that. Now I DoorDash, and I'm not in a desperate, I'm not in that position. So I go, I don't have EBT, I don't have any of that. So I just go to the store, I buy my food, or when I'm out, I stop at Chipotle or whatever, or Chick-fil-A, and I get a sandwich, or, spend the $15 or whatever it is, and I buy the food. So living below your means, now that I know my costs, my food costs, my expenses and my costs, I need to earn approximately $250 a week. But we don't want to live just at our cost of living. So my goal is $600 a week. Go out, work about 25 hours door dashing, make $600, and then, save $350 out of that. So if I go out for 4 weeks in a row, that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's about $1,300 in a month that I can save just making $600 a week, which is very doable because some weeks I may go out and make $1,000. So the average goal is $600 a week, to bring in $600 a week. Go out, work the lunch shift, a couple hours for the dinner shift, and that's kind of my goal. $600 a week is my goal. So I think that for most people, whether you're going to buy a $16,000 van or you're going to buy a van, you're going to trade your car for somebody with a used van, that's worth $4,500, whatever. For anybody who's going to own their van outright, I think that's a great starting point. Is average $250 a week for your food, your expenses, and plan $1,000 a month for your total living costs, and try to budget a job around making $600 a week. So that's what I do, and I think that's a pretty good base to start from. If you're planning, living in a van or a vehicle, and that doesn't include traveling. Now, when you start driving your van, that's if the van's just parked. You got gas, more oil changes. You've got more expenses if you're going to start driving the vehicle. Then you have all those additional expenses. I'm just talking about if you're going to stay in one place, like I'm in Los Angeles right now. If you're just going to stay in one place and leave your van parked and just move it like once a week for the street cleaning, or just kind of move it around a few blocks here and there or something, and that's kind of what I do. I don't drive the van every day. I get the van where I'm going, and then I park it, and I just move it for the, some cities you have to move every 10 days. You might just move it a block, which I show in some of my other videos and stuff like that. So if this video helped you with kind of like the expenses and kind of what I'm doing, hit like, subscribe, check out the rest of the series on some of my van travel, and I'll see you on the next video.